Hi, I'm Hazel. It's Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I have been up to, and answer some of your questions. Today, as I release this video this Saturday, is April 1st, and I am here to disclaim, pinky swear that this video does not contain any misinformation under the name of an April Fool's joke. Partly because I'm gullible and I've been tricked by that kind of thing before and I'm bitter about it, and partly because I'm just not that original. Speaking of April, the trading post items have been revealed. You can check them all out at your local trading post in-game. Notable things for me are this quiver/ammo pouch mog available for 500 tender. There's a magenta cloud serpent available for 900 tender. And then Egg Bob, a recolor of the Children's Week superstar Egbert. I need Egg Bob, and that surprises nobody. This month's bonus reward for filling in the Traveler's Log bar is the Arsenal Blades of Elune, which is a set of one-handed sword with these tree details. First of all, that's extremely cool. But second of all, as far as I can tell, and it's really not that hard to tell because we've only had 2 months of trading posts so far, this is the first time that the bar reward is not something that everybody can use. Like the first month we had a mount, which can be used by any class, and the second month we had the Harlequin, the Darkmoon Harlequin Jester sort of transmog that can be used by any armor type. But this, you're only going to be able to mog it on characters that can use, you know, one-handed swords. I think that they're wildly cool and that there's going to be a bunch of brand new Night Elf rogues running around, but that was kind of a new difference that I noted. The Traveler's Log bar does not always have to be universal. In a similar vein, Blizzard has announced a new Amazon Prime Twitch reward, the Big Battle Bear. This is not a Twitch drop like the disco toy was. This is something that you just get if you have an Amazon Prime account linked to your Twitch Prime. The Blizzard news post has details and instructions on how to go about doing that. There was also this tweet from Prime Gaming that indicates that there will be a new Warcraft reward every month for a year. That was missing from the Blizzard news post. This Big Battle Bear is another former TCG item, and I think that's a safe bet of what to expect for the rest of these rewards. I am guessing that it's going to include more TCG mounts as well as pets and toys. I don't know that for sure, but this is definitely a good deal for the Prime people. Also, if you link your Amazon Prime to Twitch and get Twitch Prime, you get a free sub every month that you can give to a streamer, like me. Doesn't have to be me. This is just my sneaky way of including the fact that I stream, just in case that's valuable information to you. Other news this week, the Wishwing Phoneix secret pet has been discovered. The secret finding Discord worked its magic again, and Wowhead has summarized the findings into a guide article that I'll link below. It does require you to kill a Lithrazor on Fireland's Time Walking, which is currently available as I put this out. So if you're an avid pet collector, do try to get yourself into a Fireland's Time Walking group this week. It'll rotate back around, but I definitely anticipate more groups going, especially specifically for a Lithrazor because of this pet discovery right now. And then in less cosmetic and more gameplay and mechanics-y WoW news, we have the unveiled list of Season 2 Mythic Plus affixes, which includes a couple of new ones, a few ones being retired, and then they're doing some stuff to Explosive. So first of all, they are retiring Quaking, Grievous, and Volcanic for Season 2. They will not be in the Mythic Plus affix rotation for the second season of Dragonflight Mythic Plus. Quaking and Volcanic were fine. Volcanic in particular was a bit too easy, but I know I'm not the only person that is happy to see the back end of Grievous. Explosive is sticking around but getting a change where fewer explosives will spawn, but they have more health. The exact numbers are actively being tuned on the 10.1 PTR, but the general gist of it should be that it's not one-shottable anymore, so instead of just being a thing that gets relegated to a healer task to just kind of ping all of them down, there's fewer of them, but DPS may need to turn and actually damage them. I personally think that's fine, especially if they find a good cadence for how many explosive to spawn, so it's not slowing you down too much. If you really want it to still be a healer mechanic, I suppose you could just let them explode and then let the healer heal it all back up. I think I might actually kind of miss my little mouse over whack-a-mole game that I played as a healer sniping explosives in Mythic Plus, but luckily the new affixes have a little bit of that gameplay also. So there's 3 new affixes. The first one is called Incorporeal. It's going to spawn ads that need to be either interrupted or CC'd to prevent them from getting casts off. They're going to last for 20 seconds. They're going to try and do these 8-second long casts, and they have all mob types. So you could just interrupt it a couple of times, or you could use a hard CC like a Polymorph or a Paralyze, and because they have all enemy types, you don't have to just stop with the easy ones. You can Shackle Undead, you can Hibernate, you can Scare Beast if hunters still have that button. Haven't checked in a while. I think that that sounds super fun as long as there's not too many of them. It's a nice excuse to poke around in your class tree. I spent a fair amount of Shadowlands Mythic Plus being really excited whenever I got a chance to Shackle Undead something, so anything that makes use of those like niche skills I think is really cool. Our second affix is Afflicted, where an injured ad is going to spawn that has a curse, a poison, and a disease debuff on it. If you remove any of those, not all, but any of those 3, or you heal the ad to full, it's going to go away and the mechanic is negated. If you fail to do that, it's going to debuff your group with some reduced haste for 10 seconds, and you have 10 seconds in which to either dispel it or heal it to full. This sounds very similar to Incorporeal, except that instead of using your CCs, you're using your dispels, and I think it sounds like a lot of fun because it's not just healers that have dispels. It may be often the healer that does that, but lots of people can take off a curse or a poison or a disease, and this is a great reason to dig up that button, put it on a mouse over macro, and be ready to save the day whenever that ad spawns. The third new Mythic Plus affix is, as far as I'm concerned, the most controversial one. It's controversial with me, I guess. It's called Entangling, and it's going to randomly slow you by vines that you need to get 10 yards away from in order to snap. You can counterplay this with immunities like a druid shapeshifting it. A shaman and ghost wolf shouldn't be slowed that much and should be able to break it pretty easy. You can use freedoms, you can use movement boosts. This seems like the most dangerous and potentially frustrating because even though lots of classes have mobility and movement breaks and some of them can be shared, those are things that get used regularly through the course of a Mythic Plus dungeon, more often than things like poison dispels, I would say on average, although we are heading into Brackenhide. And also, I have this feeling that I'm gonna end up fighting a pack of trash in a really tight corner where I just don't have 10 free yards in order to break my vine, and I'm gonna think that I can do it, and I'll end up aggroing more trash, and I'm just feeling embarrassed in advance. Overall, I think that these new affixes plus the explosive change looks fun, and I'm excited for them. I'm in favor of these mechanics that make you use your actual like utility skills and make you look for something that you can do as your class, as opposed to stepping to the side for a volcano, or in the case of Grievous, just praying for your tank. And then moving right along, questions for this week. Terry wants to know, do you think the revival catalyst should include weapons, maybe for appearance only and excluding any type of embellishment effects? So that's kind of an interesting thought that I'd never heard of before, especially if it kind of changes the secondaries the same way that using the catalyst on a piece of armor converts it to another piece of armor that might have different secondaries that maybe you want. I don't know if tier sets already have matching weapons that could be used for that. Off the top of my head, they don't, but the concept of tier weapons, even if it's just a cosmetic that matches the set, sounds super cool. And then Charmed asks, how would you prepare for Season 2 in Dragonflight? Since Raider.io is getting reset, how would players get recognized for their Season 1 results? So I thought about this, and Season 2 is really a fresh start for everybody because not only do we have all these new affixes to play with, but there's a completely new dungeon pool. People could certainly look up your Season 1 Raider.io score. It doesn't go away, it's just in the Season 1 tab. But how experienced you are at running Ruby Life pools isn't really all that relevant for Season 2. The best way that I can think of to prepare is to talk to the people that you're grouping up with right now. Find people that you like that are planning to push in Season 2, and then make plans with them to do that. Join some Discords, get on some friends lists. People that have grouped with you before and they already know and like you are going to be much less worried about your Mythic Plus score, and you can all kind of learn the new dungeons together. Networking is easier said than done, but doing your best to make a good first impression and then introducing yourself can go farther than you think. And that has been the week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have a question for a news video, please put it in the comments of the most recent one and include the word question to help me find it. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.